All right, we're back after a week. I had the flu, so I'm still a little bit run down. Today we've got a really important episode for you because we're going to say sell, 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 dump everything, the world is ending. Dump, dump, dump.
Okay, shit. BTC is below 90k.
Speaking of useless statistics,
Yeah.
I've got the biggest bull indicator ever in the world.
It's a game of how long you want to hold.
So as long as we don't dip below that, I'm okay. I think it's still in a healthy position. And
This is ideally a bear trap if we see a Q1.
because if you do compare to graphs, it does look like it has to look bad before
You have to be like-
I think Solana is a safe long-term buy now. No,
Yeah.
no, they're selling. Oh my God, the world is ending. Bitcoin is about to crash. I still do think we get an NFT pump. And the 100K is such a psychological zone for the
Exactly.
best and the worst.
Yeah.
Bull market.
So we are so back.
Bull market was so back. Bull market confirmed.
Would you like to come have some coffee and pie with me?
Man, it's actually cold.
It is.
It's freezing. Welcome to Melbourne summer. This is meant to be summer.
And Q4 was supposed to be bullish.
It's meant to be summer and Q4 was meant to be bullish. Hey, we still got time. We still got a month left.
Yeah. October, November.
Yeah. What's December then? I don't know. Look, last December we had a good last December. We didn't sort of move until the end of the first week, so we're a week delayed. So there's still some hope in there. Maybe.
Q1 business extension, this business cycle extends to Q1. That's what the new narrative is now floating around. So,
All Q1 now, mid 26, mid maybe 27. Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Look, I'm still bullish. Firstly, sorry we didn't do an episode last week. You can probably still hear I'm a little bit sick. I had the flu, had the real flu, like flu. Not just, hey, I've got the flu, I can't come into work for a day. Real flu. So that sucked. I didn't look at the markets at all. And then I looked and I was like, shit.
Yeah, a lot of my friends is actually like they were just bought and forget. But yesterday I had a word with one of my close friends and he was like, okay, shit, BTC is below 90k and
Look,
other thing.
yes, the dip yesterday to 89, that was scary. We saw that live. That was scary.
Yeah.
We recovered. I'm okay with around 92 to 95. Like 2 weeks ago, we said it would go to 92, 95. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
It's the last previous high support.
Yeah.
So as long,
Yearly open as well.
yeah. So as long as we don't dip below that, I'm okay. I think it's still in a healthy position, and sort of my thesis on a lower Bitcoin to get retail in is good. I mean, we saw Bitcoin drop like 15%, 16% over the last week. ETH and alts, some alts are decimated, but sort of the
ETH
top.
held pretty well.
ETH dropped 20. So ETH dropped 20%, Solana dropped 20%, Chainlink dropped 20%. So not massive parabolic differences from Bitcoin. Obviously, they're always going to be beta plays to Bitcoin, so they're always going to be a little bit exaggerated.
Yeah.
But overall, I just think the market's gone down. The liquidity's not there. Same things we spoke about 2 weeks ago. I don't think anything like drastics changed. We're still not printing money,
Yeah.
and I strongly believe that we're in just a longer debt cycle now, 5.5 year debt cycle. And so that lines up with everybody's thesis of
This may end up just being a bear trap,
2026.
right? So this is ideally a bear trap if we
amazing
see
bear
a
trap.
Q1.
because if you do
Really?
compare to graphs, it does look like it has to look bad before
You have to be like
off.
the fear
That would be-
index hit 11, like so. That is the bear market bottom now.
That would be amazing.
That sort of levels that we see the fear and greed index have been like potential bear market bottoms. If we see the history doesn't repeat, but often rhymes.
But it rhymes, George
So, yeah.
Lucas.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
think
I think there's still potential. I think we need to close the year higher.
definitely
We need another
at least
all-time
above
high.
93 above because
No, I think we need to go over 120.
the election gains are just swiped off,
Yeah.
and the short-term holders have sort of capitulated already.
Yep.
Now we are seeing good flows from the long-term holders. So whenever there's a fear and greed below 20 or 15, I think that's always a good time to DCA in. That's what we've always mentioned. Like it's
Yeah, GCA and
for the Bitcoin,
and most
definitely. We can't
You know,
just
I
guarantee
think-
on any altcoin, but
I think one thing that we don't talk about, like we look at all graphs and money supply and quantitative easing and stuff like that. And we can talk about, I mean, we talked about the other week that you can match up any graph to anything. Oh, here's my coffee, thank you.
Thank you.
You can match up any graph to anything. You can zoom out, and we sort of talked about two potential theses already. But I think the 100K is such a psychological zone for the best and the worst
Yeah.
that it makes it so unpredictable. Because if you've been one of these long-term Bitcoin holders,
Yeah.
and you go, oh my God, it's above 100K, I'm going to hold on a little bit longer.
Yeah.
When it starts approaching below 100K,
Yeah.
you're thinking, oh shit, I got to get out. I got to sell.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of sell pressure based around the 100K. You get a lot of buy pressure around 100K. It's such a weird psychological thing, and there's been no other asset that's been worth 100K before either, right? So we don't know how market sentiment and buyer behavior, retail behavior, seller behavior really functions around this amazing round number of 100K. Retail, not sophisticated investors, but those that lucked out.
Yeah.
We talk about like the Bitcoin OGs as if they like.
Yeah. They sold it like 100K was a good level to be. Like anything above 100K.
But we talk about this Bitcoin investor like OGs as if like they're investing like geniuses. A lot of them just got into Bitcoin. Like I got into Bitcoin quite early. It doesn't mean that I'm like a genius. You just held through it, and you had diamond hands. You held through it. You really believed in it, and then that 100K plays on you.
Definitely. And I think 100K is now a crucial like support sort of like thing, or the resistance now, because of the moving average as well. So 50 SMAs now there around 100K levels.
Yep.
And we did see a bit of bounce there just to end up being a lot lower. But that's what we mentioned in like previous videos as well. Like 110 was the crucial level to me. And we have seen 20K dip on Bitcoin below 110. So I think
still buying.
Yeah, this is a good level to buy. Anything between wasn't having that sort of risk-reward ratio, I would say. But now
which we always talked about. I think for Bitcoin, we always talked about there's not enough risk-reward for us to buy Bitcoin at about 110. It's healthy for the market.
Yeah.
But we were
unless there's a break above,
I still think ETH's good, but at the moment,
3,000 is the psychological level for ETH, and it has been already tested.
Level for ETH, I think, but for Bitcoin now, it's like I'm not even looking at ETH. I'm buying Bitcoin because there is at least I believe a 50% uptick, hopefully by the end of the year, if not by Q1. Like I still believe in a 150. It's crazy, like when we started this podcast, everyone was like 300,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year. I was like, nah, 150. I'm happy with I'm selling over 135. Like
exactly, yeah.
And everyone's no, 300, 500. Look back, now everyone's praying for 150.
Yeah, I think that'll come anyway, but it's a game of how long you want to hold.
That's it.
Bitcoin, right? It depends. Like if you're just short-term trader, you can just be in and out, capitalize on the gains. Like 10% gains is good.
I had this chat.
Playing it out with. Yeah.
Messaged the family chat. It was like, should I buy some Bitcoin a couple of weeks ago? I was like, I'll hold off. It's going to go lower. So I bought small amounts. Lost 20%.
Yeah.
But I randomly got onto the train yesterday, and he was there, and I said, look, you hold it long. There's no sell pressure for you. Hold on to it long term, and you'll be laughing long term. So
as long as you don't have an obligation to fulfill in terms of real life.
Yeah.
Like you can put in money. You can just forget. Just take your Bitcoin off the exchanges. That's what we advise anyway. Not your coins, not your keys, not your coins. So I think it's actually good. Like these levels are pretty good. It can dip lower. We don't know, right? So, but I think, considering the psychology behind the market or the fear and greed right now in the market, the levels of fear that we are seeing across equities as well as like crypto, makes it like one of the good buy levels right now, just purely based on psychology.
Look, I could be wrong, and this is one of those ones where it's a bit of a coin flip. I don't see it going too much lower. I think the 89.
75.
I know you were saying that.
I want to see 100K reclaim, man. Like if it doesn't, then
I
there's
just think dipping
probability
below 89, if there was, I think it would have ran down if it was going to run down at that point.
Yeah, and I feel there's a short-term bounce coming. Like even if any asset fails or it goes in waves, right? That's what I was telling you. I think.
But short-term bounce to another all-time high, or just short-term bounce to 100?
if it gets accepted above 100k, then I'll reevaluate. But I think the 100k is the first barrier to cross over. So that's the first hurdle. And if we see a retracement up to a golden pocket, and if it gets rejected around 105, who knows, right?
Yeah.
And it can just travel back again. So this is A wave, I think. If Bitcoin is stopped, this is A wave. B comes next, which is a bit of retracement or corrective bounce or the dead cat bounce, as we call it.
Yep.
And then C leads even higher, even lower.
Even lower, yeah.
Maybe 275, 60k. We never know. Based on the Fibonacci retracement and extensions.
Yeah. So you're
a bit of
talking
technical
about
chart.
75 after a bounce, not 75 straight away.
Nah.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and if 100k or 105k gets accepted, then there's a potential of a higher wave. That might be a fifth wave. That is like long due, like the parabolic leg or the expansion phase on the crypto side.
How crazy is it? We're all like, oh, when the government opens back up, it'll be great. Government opens back up, everything crashes.
Yeah, I was reading an interesting stat. I'm not sure if it's legitimate or not, but whenever government opened after 5 days, Bitcoin bottomed. So the government opened around 13th, today is 18th or 19th, and we potentially bottom case today. We never know. So I'm just playing level by levels, man.
Speaking of useless statistics,
Yeah.
I've got the biggest bull indicator
Yeah.
ever in the world.
Uh-huh.
I saw this yesterday. I'll try and dig it up. Every time McDonald's releases the McRib,
yeah.
we go into a bull market. And they just announced the
Parabolic
McRib is
phase.
back.
Yeah.
Bull market.
So we are so bad.
Bull market was so back. Bull market confirmed. Thank
Yeah.
you, McDonald's, for the bull market.
And
But,
every
but
fall.
it's funny. That's kind of going back to like you can make any graph line up and say anything, right?
Yeah, you can just present like your thesis can be based on any random assumption, and you've got the charts, you've got the dates or tweets or whatsoever just to present your bias.
Influencers have the platforms, and they'll say this, and
Yeah.
they'll engagement farm based on
Some
what's
random
trending,
statistics.
or when there's a gap in the market, they feel like they can get some hopium.
Yeah,
So it's really difficult to
but I
play
think
along that way. So we have to keep looking at the fundamentals. I think governments are still adopting, institutions are still adopting. ETF, we saw some ETF outflow,
yeah,
but I think that's just the name of the game. They're trying to make money, so they're gonna sell when they need to sell and buy back when they need to buy.
Interesting thing that I read about ETFs, like I've already mentioned, even like CEO Larry Fink also mentioned that BlackRock's ETF is not purely institutional driven. It's 50-50 participation from retailers as well. And we see that retailers are always like worried or feared about the volatility in the market. And that's what is happening right now. So even the US stock market is like, it went down 4%, but the fear index hit 11. And that doesn't hit in a bull market. Like that sort of fear is never in a bull market, right? So I think there's still upside to it.
I think that's what I've been saying. Like, it's, if you believe
Fundamentally,
if you still believe in bull markets, then I just don't think we've had the bull market.
Yeah.
Like we haven't seen major FOMO. We haven't seen the crazy news headlines. We haven't seen retail. We haven't seen the liquidity. We haven't seen the money supply. We
haven't seen the screenshots of people staring at like 10,000
It just hasn't happened, which to me suggests that the top hasn't come in.
Yeah.
Now, it may never. That's always the thing with crypto, right? Or any investment. It may never. You know, it's always like.
Yeah.
I still think we're in a healthy position, but if we get another FTX or another sort of like massive piece of bad news, massive piece of bad news, and who knows what happens? Right?
Yeah, that's true.
It's so fragile at the moment.
Yeah.
Julie,
I think
Labrador walked by. I don't think we got her on camera. But
Yeah. I think there are just two types of plays right now in a broader sense. The holders or the believers can DCA these levels. These are amazing buy levels. And the traders can just facilitate their trading based on the level by level. Like if it gets accepted above 100K, you can become a bull again. If it doesn't, then you need to just play with the price action. Like you can't just dictate anything and just have random trades done around the levels.
Here's my thesis, and I kind of want to go on record for it, so I can tweet that I was right if I was right, and just ignore it if I was wrong, like every other KOL.
Delete your Twitter.
I think we have an extended cycle this time. I think because of the debt cycle, the fact that money printing hasn't turned on yet. I think it's a 5.5 year cycle, which to me suggests mid 26 top. right? Q1, Q2, let's say next year, top.
So midterm elections, yeah.
Midterm elections.
That's when the Trump is
That's
sort
when
of.
exactly. So that's what I was getting to. Lines up to midterm elections.
Uh-huh.
That's when the good news starts rolling out. That's when the money supply starts rolling out. He's probably holding off this $2,000 and we get retail coming in and that's the top, right? And I think that is the 5.5 year cycle that this was. I don't think the next cycle is 5.5 years. Like I'm not suggesting every cycle will now be 5.5 years.
Yeah.
I don't think it goes back to 4 years. I actually think the next cycle will be shorter. So we're going to see a 5.5 year and a 2.5 year cycle.
Okay.
So overall, we still had like 8 years since the last one. And the reason for that is I think the end of the Trump presidency will just be bonkers. Will just be bonkers because he can't win again, but he wants to go out on top. He wants to go out a legend. He's not going to go out with, he's not going to want to go out with the guy that tanked the economy.
Yeah.
So he is going to pump so much stimulus from narratives, from actual checks, from everything to prop up the economy. And then I think that liquidity and that euphoria flows back into crypto again.
Yeah.
And then who knows? And then I predict, a big crash anyway. The big,
The Greatest
that
Depression.
lines up with a massive depression that not everybody, but a lot of people predict for 2020 or 2021 anyway, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I think. I think now is an amazing opportunity to set yourself up for long-term economic health, stability.
Yeah.
So I think time the exit Q1, Q2 next year,
Yeah.
we will see a massive dump probably back to 75%, 75,000, like you said. That's when I'll be buying back in because I think 2 years after that
Is a good price.
we'll have a massive rally again around Trump leading.
I think
Because he's going to want to set the party up. He's going to want JD Vance. Well, look, he's going to want JD Vance to win.
Yep.
He's going to want to leave on a high. He wants statues
At
in
least
his
on a
name.
crypto bull.
But even without that, he's going to want to set his own businesses up, his sons up, his friends up. This is his last opportunity to really make money, and that's what Trump cares about, right? So this is going to be his last opportunity to really lay claim to being the crypto president, lay claim to making money for his friends, for himself, setting himself up, and it's sort of like that's his last shot. So I think he'll throw everything at the wall. That's my prediction. Just there'll be no real economic
Expansion as such, in terms of
or even
jobs
reasoning for it. Nothing. It'll just be fake pump. It'll be a fake pump. It'll be the biggest pump and dump ever. That's my prediction. So 5.5 year now and then 2.5 year.
Yeah, and I totally agree. I'm almost on the same stance because we know, right? Trump.
We've seen how manipulated it is.
Yeah,
right?
and it's very volatile. The thing is, like, it's manipulative. It's extremely volatile right now. The world that we are living in right now in terms of markets, is the most volatile market. Like there are trillions of dollars coming in and out in the same day.
It's going to get worse as well. We're going to have mass AI adoption by then.
Lesser jobs. So
lesser
that's
jobs. Well,
another
first you
thing.
see an economic boom because everybody will be making money off of AI, or the economy will make money off of AI. They'll be like, fantastic. How do we buy? Then you see a crunch. Like I think it'll be a dog day.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So I think delayed and then short.
Yeah, but it's gonna come quick. That's what I feel because. No.
Yeah. Quick. Yeah.
That's what I.
That next one will be massively compressed.
Yeah,
So
it's gonna be a
you got
steep. Yeah.
You got it. This has been the slow one. You got to buy, get out, and I think when we zoom out long term, it was probably really an 8 year cycle, and you see like the double.
Yet to see that.
Yeah, that's what I think we get when we look at a sort of 8 years. So
Yeah, and the only I think there are a couple takeaways that's happened to the current crypto structure or the crypto market structure. One is markets don't like uncertainty. The US government going off the books for like a month or month and a half.
it's crazy.
It's crazy as well as people want the investors want the risk on sentiment only is available when or only shapes up when there's a market certainty around the governments, the political stabilizations. There's nothing out of the box happening, right?
Yep.
If anything happens, the first thing any investor will do is to safeguard themselves, and that's what they did. That's what I've seen. Bitcoin OGs have literally been distributing a lot of Bitcoin. They've been selling billions of dollars with no demand.
Selling to selling to privacy coins.
Selling to privacy
Right?
coins, yeah.
So you can counter trade privacy coins with Bitcoin.
With Bitcoin.
Goes up, it's liquidity coming out of privacy coins.
Yeah.
Bitcoin goes down, people start selling into privacy coins.
Yeah, especially Zcash, right? That's one of
Zcash.
the
There's an amazing narrative.
hardest
It was a
narrative.
fork of Bitcoin. I think Zcash does really well because centralized exchanges for retail also, a lot of them will allow Zcash because there's that privacy off ability for Zcash, which Monero doesn't
Shielding,
have.
yeah.
Shielding, so you can kind of get around, a lot of us exchanges won't touch privacy coins because of that negative narrative around it. It attracts AML risk. But Zcash can work around that because it just turns that privacy layer off, which is why you see that on more exchanges.
Yeah, and the other takeaway is like the Japan yield situation. So so Japan's yield curve is like the 10-year bonds are giving you much more higher yield. So it used to be a free trade in a way, wherein Japan massively printed yen and provided as like loans to like different countries.
Zero interest, right?
Roughly 0 or 0.1%. And that's literally free money that you can park into any risk on asset. Risk on asset is going to make you more. You can just pay back the yen that you borrowed against it. And that's how the yen carry trade used to hover around for like 20 years. But now after 2024 is what's happening is Japan's yield or the bond is giving more returns.
Okay.
And in order to borrow that, you need to pay
back the debt
more.
first.
Yeah, you need to pay back more. It's not 0.1% anymore.
Okay.
So what people or the investors are now doing or the institutions are now doing, they need to pay back their liabilities, right?
Yep.
So they are closing the trades or the leverage or the excess leverage that they had taken in risk on assets. So they are actually closing those trades and then paying back Japanese yen. Because if the interest rate keeps on climbing, then their liability becomes more and more. So that's the situation that's holding, and a lot of that capital flows into crypto, obviously because of the beta play, and that's where we've seen massive liquidations for almost a month and a half now.
Yep.
Since October, I think that's what it's almost November 20th.
Okay,
We have seen massive liquidations, more than $1 billion liquidations here and there, especially on the long side. So there are two things that has like led to this downfall on BTC all of a sudden. One is the long liquidation that happened on 10th of October. The market hasn't actually been able to recover and see some good spot flow, and that led to.
It's crazy how we're having a lot of meetings with our partners at Day One X. So we had a meeting with Talos, and everybody talks about like October 10th. Like it's this label now. It's
One
like
of the craziest days.
Yeah, craziest days.
After a long
where were
time.
you October 10th? It's in the industry. It's become this thing, right? We all know other very unfortunate days in history that are just known by their dates, and in the crypto scene, October 10th is one of those days now.
Yeah, for this year, yeah, definitely. And it was bigger than the FTX collapse because of the level of long liquidity.
But even he said it was like, where were you 10-10? And I'm like, I don't know. That's what happened, right?
Yeah. So I think, these are the two things that have led to like Bitcoin dropping below certain levels, and the fear index is like, anyway, hit almost bottomish point. So this is a very good
It's a game now. You just have to adjust your strategy though. So I still think like buying spot at the moment is a good time to buy.
It's a good time.
I think looking at, actually your advice here would be good. Looking at crypto loans is probably a good time because like with ETH being so low, if you're still holding ETH, I'm probably going to jump on Aave now, take out some more because the chance, and don't borrow massively, right? Don't leverage yourself massively, but you can borrow half of your ETH.
Yeah.
And as long as it doesn't drop to 1,500, you're okay. And I don't think it's going to drop to 1,500.
Exactly.
So it's probably a good time to leverage in some on-chain
These
financing.
are good times. Yeah, definitely. I 100% agree on
You
that.
got to be setting yourself up now. So take some loans against crypto assets now.
I think this is
by spot.
Yeah, this is a very good time to leverage because because the market. Yeah, you got to be very smart with your strategies, especially in such a volatile environment. You can just cut out the losers or like you need to take profits when the market goes up. When it goes down, you need to just recalibrate on your strategies.
Well, it's a good time to recalibrate with the bags that you're holding. So
Definitely.
I missed out selling my Pengu. I bought a lot of Pengu because of him. I'm gonna hang this Pengu over your head until we're rich off Pengu. But now I can probably leverage against that Pengu, I guess, because it just makes no sense for me selling it. Or even Ondo. Your Pengu is my Ondo.
Yeah.
It just goes to show, like, I still think they're good projects. At the time, it made a lot of sense, but we didn't sell at the right time.
Yeah, exactly. You just need to sell it, or you just need to
Hold right through it, yeah, or leverage it now.
or leverage it now when the market is like, it can drop definitely, but you need to have a sort of a 50% or more powder from the margins or the things that you have. So have a more than 50% margin always. That's what I recommend. But you never know what can happen to this market. So just be cautious with taking leverage. We always advise on spot
Yeah,
trading.
that's
more.
perhaps like an advance.
Yeah, this is much more sophisticated. You need to take care of the loans. You need to take care of your
Yeah.
positions. You need to consider your health sector and stuff.
Yeah.
But if you are a long-term believer that Ethereum might not go below 1,500 or Bitcoin might not drop below 50,000, for example.
See, that's the thing. I just don't see Bitcoin. Like maybe we hit 75, but I don't see Bitcoin dropping below 50. So for me,
If it goes below 50.
it's a gamble. Yeah, for me, if it drops below 50, we're all doomed.
We're all doomed,
anyway,
man.
right? Like
The whole industry is doomed for a bit.
so.
Yeah. So those are the smart plays. You need to calibrate your strategies based on the market movements, I think, and that's what is leveraging all about, right? So that's where you need to just perfectly time this sort of structure wherein the feed and read is very low.
Now's the time.
Now is the time
Now's
to
the
be
time to do
cautiously get into the market.
Yep. You have to set
because
yourself
the
up now.
downside is limited in a way. It can go to any downside. We can't guarantee any downside on anything, but like looking at the trends or looking at the history, we can just see, okay, Bitcoin might not drop below more than 20% or more from here.
So that'll be my strategy now. I think is leveraging some bags that I'm holding and not willing to sell yet now to get some more crypto to buy some more spot positions.
Yeah.
And then paying, like I always like to pay those back as soon as I can.
Yeah, just loop your gain, like loop your collateral, have a 2x or 3x looping strategy deployed and just borrow against it and get more dry powder to buy these dips.
Yep. And you're still recommending Aave?
For taking the loans and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the number one. And there's news that Aave is now trying. So Aave's launched an app as well.
Okay.
So yeah, Aave is making huge advancements, and it is one of the top 50 banks in the world now, right? So I really trust Aave. If you
See,
are
soon we just saw a tram go by, Commonwealth Bank tram. Soon it'll be
Aave Trump,
Aave trams and Pendle trams and all this. Like it's definitely coming.
yeah, there are other protocols in terms of like in comparison to Aave as well. But if you are sophisticated enough to like leverage loop on those protocols, but just to be the safest way of lending borrowing, I think Aave is the one. Yeah. But you need to be very cautious. Like I was telling Mike the other day, like I used to be a very early borrower or lender in Radiant Capital that launched on Arbitrum.
Yep.
And that got hacked like a couple years back, and I never revoked my keys or the signatories of my DeFi wallet. And when I put some money, it was auto swept. So the hacker was able to auto sweep it. So you need to be very cautious with the permissions that you give to certain protocols as well.
You need to have. You gotta have
Bit of
safety.
sophistication.
You have to have safety procedures anyway. So one of the interesting things one of the panic things that happened. Everybody on. I'm not going to name and shame you, but I had interaction with someone on X.
Okay.
With Sailor strategy, selling their Bitcoin, and this is the end. And
Yeah.
they weren't selling; they were just moving from wallet to wallet and rotating the keys around. Like that's a smart strategy. No, they're selling. Oh my God, the world is ending. Bitcoin is about to crash. Like, because that would be amazing if they like not amazing. That would be huge if they sold in a bad way, right? It's almost as if I think if Sailor sold now, it's akin to Satoshi selling. Like it'd be
the amount of BTC he's holding, like
horrible. Just the sentiment would be horrible. Like the person that almost champions it and belongs in it, believes in it the most, selling would be an astronomical collapse, I think.
No, definitely.
But everybody on X was like, it's selling because the wallets that we knew were on Arkham were dropping, but it's just
exactly.
It's just rotating into other wallets, splitting things out. You don't want to hold everything in one wallet.
Yeah.
You can split it out. Have some of your dry powder in a hot wallet and Trust Wallet or MetaMask. Have your long-term holdings in a cold wallet.
Yeah. I think that's what institutions need to do. Like they can't just hold it in one wallet and that.
Well, that's what people should do as well. Is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Like
everyone should do it. Yeah. And I see the screenshots on like X, the fake screenshots wherein they just claim that Binance is selling or Wintermute is selling. No, man. Like these are transactions that happen between the LPs because Wintermute is just a market maker.
That's it. Yeah.
And they they do
So
sell
that's
it.
engagement farming.
Yeah, that's
Right?
that's
So
purely
I've got the
engagement
screenshot.
farming.
I saw their
Yeah, not backed by any
they're
like
selling retweeting.
the analytics that needs to be there. They are just, especially like you can create your own set of indicators. You can create sort of alerts that people are just having screenshots of,
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
just perceiving their own information based on what's available publicly on chain. So
That's it.
each to their own. Yeah.
So I think it's a super interesting time. Boxes of arancini. Super interesting time. Our recommendation is still not financial advice, but our personal recommendation is to hold spot, buy spot now. Like now is the time to build your bags. I think.
Yeah.
Restructure your portfolio, cut some of your losses or leverage against them, and just be smart with what you're getting into. I think Bitcoin blows next again. We're sort of back at that the rhythms of the cycle. We're at the beginning. Bitcoin needs to dominate before anything else will move. So keep an eye on Bitcoin, then keep an eye on ETH, and then cycle down into your alts like Chainlink.
You can always auto buy.
I think alts, like the weird alts, I think are done.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I think we might have a narrative here or there still around
A bit
real
of
assets
meme
or
coin
AI.
season might return once the risk on sentiment returns, and you need to be very
Look,
selective
we
with
see
those
these
bags.
weird ones like ICP pumped, right? ICP pumped massively and then is the biggest loser today. So you have these like weird
Exit liquidity pumps. Yeah,
exit
that's what we
liquidity
call.
pumps around things. So keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
And I would say any pump at the moment is going to be artificial anyway. So
Yeah.
if your asset does pump and nothing
Randomly.
else is pumping,
Yeah. Just take profits.
take profits or just try and time the high of it. You might not even be able to take profits, but I think it's better to sell at a higher price and get into something like Bitcoin or ETH that now actually does have the potential to, like I think ETH will 2x
Yeah.
pretty easily from here if
Yeah.
Bitcoin runs to 150, 160.
And Bitcoin dominance is having a lot of bearish divergences on very high time frames. So I think Bitcoin is done being dominant. It might have like 1 or 2% gain
Yeah,
in
but I think
dominance, but not
still-
65% again.
No, that's, yeah, exactly.
So
I
this
think
is the
it's-
season for altcoins. That's what I feel. Like be selective with your altcoin choices. DCA a bit, not go 100% all in.
But
on
okay,
any,
altcoins, not Avo and weird.
Not random altcoins,
right?
one, like the ones that are making revenue.
Chainlink, AVAX, Cardano, even
the pro one ones, I think.
the top 20 alts.
Top 20
Solana.
alts.
I mean, we don't talk about Solana enough. I think there's a lot of potential for Solana, especially around stablecoin season. Like I'm not a not a massive fan of Solana because it is so centralized it can be turned off.
Yeah.
But it still gets a lot of adoption and people are building stablecoins on it.
Yeah, Circle is minting massively on USDC, like stablecoin on Solana. So, and the thing is, like with Solana, is like you can always get a wild guess if it's retail all season or not, because the maximum activity of retailers right now happen on Solana alongside Base. So those are the two chains that you need to keep an eye on. Whenever there's a bit of retail activity surging, Solana will definitely go up. If Solana starts to outperform any of the majors like Bitcoin or Ethereum, okay, we are seeing some good new inflows.
Like I said, I'm not a massive fan of Solana from a tech point of view. I don't mind the ecosystem they built around it. I think Solana is a safe long-term buy now, especially at these prices.
Yeah.
Because I still do think we get an NFT pump. I think NFTs come back.
Yeah.
And I think that happens on Solana.
Yeah.
So I think Solana's got like some long-term ability to hold value. I think when it pumps, if we rotate into NFTs quick enough, Solana probably won't dip as much as others.
Yeah.
So I think it's smart to get into Solana at the moment because you almost have this support from institutional stablecoin printing at the moment to prop it up.
Yeah.
When that runs, it'll run, and then I think Solana is geared to move into sort of the other crypto Web3 niches, which I think is
Definitely
the NFTs.
And Solana ETFs are like having positive inflows. So we've seen days wherein BTC and Ethereum had negative flows out, like outflows from ETFs, but Solana still managed to get like 10 million worth of ETF inflow. So institutions are basically bagging Solana.
Yeah.
So that's another key thing. So that's what I'm like based on my analysis or how I see markets. Whenever I see Solana outperforming, I see the sentiment is there. That's when I'm able to capitalize on a lot of altcoins, because that's like I don't think Ethereum is outperforming and then there's a massive ETH all season that comes up or like follows ETH, because ETH is a very big asset now that's being manipulated. Right? You see like 5,000. We were almost close to 5,000. Now we are close to 3,000. So that's 40% drop here and there on a month-to-month basis, and that's very volatile. That has happened with Solana as well. But whenever there's a season when Solana starts to outperform, that's where you need to be capitalized on leverage on the alts. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
That's what my analysis have. That's what I've observed for the time being.
I agree so much that I'm going to go back to the office now and buy some Solana. We are going to be at Ask CryptoCon this weekend. So if you're in Sydney, if you're at Ask CryptoCon, send us a comment below or reach out to us on X, and we'd love to buy you a coffee and have a chat about crypto. We'll film some content there as well. And then we'll be back next week for a bit of a wrap up. So we might do like 2 videos next week. I don't know. We'll see. See how big the weekend is.
Yeah. Cool.
As long as nobody falls into the yacht. Or off of the yacht, rather. But yeah.
But that's going to be another new story.
It's going to be another new story. Thank you for joining us. Like and subscribe. Go grab a McRib. Support McDonald's because they support Bitcoin.
And they hire crypto people. So yeah. Whenever there's a bear market, you can always apply jobs to Macca's.
That's it.
So yeah.
And thank you to Mako as always.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
And you can DCA in. That's what we'll recommend as a not as an exchange, but as a crypto native. Like it's good to DCA in using auto buys on day one X.
It's good. It's nice seeing the DCA flow grow on day one X as well, because it's like, okay, well, retail actually sort of you guys know what you're doing now. Whether through these videos or your own education. It's always good to see that. I think it secures the whole community. And I always say, when we all win together, that's the beautiful thing with crypto.
Yeah, exactly. That's where less fees, more crypto.
Less fees, more crypto. Jump into day one X. 0.1% on the trade. Everything else is free. Free deposits, free withdrawals, free auto invest, free instant buy.
Cool.
Free
See you
coffee
next week.
if you see us in Sydney.